Welcome to Finance This, Property That. My name's Dion Fernandes, and this podcast is for property enthusiasts, time-poor professionals, self-employed borrowers, and strategic investors looking for residential or commercial property who want more than just a low interest rate. They want a strategy and a team around them. Each week, I'll share strategies, structures, and lending moves that actually grow wealth, not just get you the loan. And also, I will help you surround yourself with information from professionals in their field. If you're here to build smart, not slow, you're in the right place. My vision is to empower financial legacies for generations. I am a mortgage planner and finance strategist, and I work with doctors, developers, business owners, and high-income earners to build serious property portfolios. So without further ado, let's get into today's episode. Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of Finance This, Property That. Today, I just want to run through a lending structure that has come into, popularity over the last couple of years. It's made a resurgence. It's called self-managed super funds, or SMSF. The topic is, can you actually really use your SMSF to buy property? Well, yes, but there are a few rules and regulations you might need to abide by. So the three things I want to cover off today are, one, what can you and can't you do with SMSF lending, how SMSF lending actually works, and how do you get the best chance of approval? Which is always important, right? So let's get into it. So what can you do and what can't you do with SMSF? We're going to go through a couple of things. What type of properties you can buy, who can use them, what entities you need to set up, and only a few lenders play in this space. So what does that mean for you? Well, SMSFs can buy residential or commercial properties. They cannot renovate it, and if you're buying a residential property, you certainly cannot live in it. However, asterisks, if you're a business owner and purchase a commercial property inside your SMSF, that is the only time where you can use the property that's under your SMSF and use it for it's really for your business. Well, how do you actually set these up? So SMSF lending it's called limited recourse borrowing. So they want to have a safeguard between the self-managed super fund's cash account and investments and the actual property. So when you set a self-managed super fund up, you'll have a self-managed super fund trust. So if you want to, the policies at the moment, you can't have individual trustees as trustee for the self-managed super fund. It must be company as trustee for the self-managed super fund. So that holds all the cash and runs all the investments, etc. When you go purchase a property under your SMSF, it's not actually under the SMSF trust. The debt will be, however, the property is not held under the SMSF, so it limits the recourse back to the SMSF. It is actually held under a different trust, which is called a bare trust. So this will also need a company as trustee for the trust, and the directors of the companies must be the members of the SMSF. So yes, you're all thinking it. There is actually a little bit more expense involved in it, but it also is a good, can be, if it's the right thing for you, a good play to put it in there. But the restrictions are also which lenders you can go to. Because as you know, all the big banks have actually pulled out of SMSF lending. They actually want to get it out of their books. Hot tip, if you actually already have a property inside of a self-managed super fund and you have a loan on that property, for heaven's sake, if it's with one of the major banks, please get in touch with me, because you're probably paying 10 to 12%. And you will not get any reduction in your rate because they actually want those loans off their books. I actually helped a client that was on 10.74% get their loans down to about the 7.1% mark. That's almost a 4% saving. That 4% is gone, and 4% in cash flow has gone back into investing inside the SMSF rather than paying a debt off. It's crazy. Please come and see me. So that's a little bit about what you can and can't do and how to set things up. But how does it actually work? How do you lend under a self-managed super fund? Well, it's pretty simple. Firstly, like I said before, one, you need to have your SMSF advice given to you before setting up your SMSF. Once you're happy with the advice, you set up the structure, which is usually a corporate entity as trustee for the SMSF. The members are the directors because they're the direct beneficiaries of the SMSF. Then you'd set up a cash management account because you need to roll over money from your retail super fund into your self-managed super fund. Once you've done that, you can then set up a bare trust ready for your purchase. Well, how do you service inside an SMSF? Well, it's really simple. It's serviced on the contributions that you make and the income that's being produced from the rental property or the investment property that you buy. Now, if you're PAYG, you will get the standard 12%. That's the contribution, standard 12% as per your base salary. However, if you're self-employed, you have the ability, as long as there's enough profit there, to potentially pay yourself up to $30,000 because it's actually part of your profit without actually affecting your servicing outside of SMSF. If you are PAYG and you have to actually tip in, let's say you're paying your 12%, your super guarantee is $17,000 per year. Great. And you need you need to actually top that up to $30,000 to service the debt inside your SMSF. Well, I'm just letting you know that will affect your servicing outside of super. So when you go borrow money in your personal name or a company trust that's not SMSF, we have to take into consideration that you are adding in an extra $13,000 per year towards making sure your self-managed super fund is actually paying for itself. So beware. It really comes down to strategic structuring and making sure you're buying the right product and servicing. LVRs are another big thing. You know, sometimes 70 to 80% you can get. It really depends on the asset class. There's actually there's the longer approval times in most cases, but there's also strict documentation requirements. We require all the trust deeds. If your SMSF's already established, we'll require all the financials for it, audit reports, things like that as well. So we have a list. It's pretty easy. We get it all for you. We get it all up front so that when we present to you the strategy, we already know where it's going. In the last week alone, I've done about 6 SMSF strategies. It's crazy. They're all also part of a bigger strategy that surrounds a wealth creation and property acquisition phase as well. Cool. So what do you need to get approved? A few things that most people miss. Number 1, don't sign a contract if you actually haven't got your self-managed super fund established, your cash management account created, you've got the advice, all the deeds are executed. Because, well, rolling over from your retail super fund to your cash management account all takes time. Things don't happen when you click your fingers. And if you've got a contract and you've got a 21-day finance clause and the lender's going, hey, we need the money in the cash management account, otherwise we can't do this deal, well, you're in trouble because you're going to potentially lose the property. So the number 1 thing that you need to get approved and get approved quickly and get approved the first time is talk to someone before you even start looking. Not just me as a broker, but financial planner. Is this the right thing for you? Just because it's the new in thing or it's the revamped in thing, it doesn't mean it's the right thing for you. Find a buyer's agent also that's going to get you the right property for the strategy that you're looking for in SMSF. Generally, you'd want the SMSF property to look after itself. Now, in the current environment, there's not a lot of properties that pay for themselves. That's why you've got the rental plus your super guarantee anyway coming in, and that really should cover most of the debt as well. There are some awesome lenders out there, but picking the right lender will really come down to the policies that are required. This is where a good broker comes into play. Also, having all your documentation. So if you're self-employed, man, have your financials done. There's not a lot we can do if your financials haven't been done for the last 3 years and we don't know how much you're actually contributing to super. If you're contributing to super. Because the lenders will ask for your financials. Also, if you've actually got an existing self-managed super fund, they will want to see the financials of the self-managed super fund along with the audit report. So, in a nutshell, what do you need to get approved and get approved fast? You need to be organised. That's what it comes down to. So, I know there's a lot. SMSF is a little tricky, but it's actually a really great way to build your portfolio and take a little bit of risk outside outside of your personal name. Oh, also, hot tip, one thing you can't do inside your SMSF that I forgot to cover is that when you have a property inside your SMSF, don't come to me asking to release equity from the property because the value's gone up. You cannot do that. You have to sell the property, cop the capital gains, and then go again. And also, there's some pretty neat things inside SMSF because once you're 60, I believe, this is what I've been told, again, not advice, once you're 60 or past 60, if you do sell a property inside your SMSF, I'm pretty sure the capital gains are waived. Again, make sure you see a financial planner or accountant to make sure that's correct and that's for you. But as mentioned, as I've said so many times in my previous episodes, the information on this podcast is very general in nature, doesn't take into consideration your personal circumstances. If you want to know more, find me, LinkedIn, Dion Fernandes, Instagram @Dion Finance Specialist, podcast website, Finances Property That, emergefinance.com.au is the Emerge Finance website. Again, reach out, happy to help. I hope you got something out of it. And until next time, see you on the next episode.